Most people spend money every single month and absolutely get nothing back for it. But there's a small group of people using those exact same purchases to earn free flights, free hotel stays, and hundreds of dollars in cash back every single year. They're not spending more money, they're just using the right 5 cards. I personally had over 40 plus credit cards, and out of all of them, these are the 5 that I actually keep coming back to. In this video, I'm gonna show you the only 5 credit cards that you need in 2026 to cover every major category of your spending and turn everyday purchases into real rewards. By the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to piece all 5 together as one complete system so that nearly every dollar that you spend is working for you. Let's start with the biggest expense that most people deal with every single month. Housing. If you are a renter, you already know the frustration. Your rent check goes out and you get absolutely nothing back for it. For a lot of people, rent is anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 or more every single month. That is a massive chunk of your paycheck with 0 rewards attached to it. For years, the Bilt MasterCard was the answer to that problem. It was the only card on the market that let renters earn points on rent payments with no transaction fees. It was a no-brainer recommendation, but in January 26, Bilt launched what they are calling their 2.0 program, and the original Bilt MasterCard is officially gone. Here's what changed. Bilt now has 3 new cards under the 2.0 program. The most talked about one is the Bilt Palladium, which comes in at $495 of an annual fee. It earns 2x points on all purchases, allows you to earn points on both rent and mortgage payments with no transaction fees, includes priority pass lounge access, and a $400 hotel credit split into $200 payments throughout the year. The earning structure is more complicated than the original card, and the annual fee is significantly higher. The simplicity that made the old Bilt card so easy to recommend is gone. Here's my honest take. The Bilt Palladium can still make sense, but only for the right person. But if you travel regularly and you pay rent or mortgage every single month, the combination of lounge access, hotel credits, and rent earning potential can't easily justify the fee over time. But this is not a beginner card, and is not for the average renter who also is not a frequent traveler. For most people this year, I would still consider the other Bilt cards, which is the Blue or the Obsidian. Since these cards have lower costs, but it still gives you the potential to earn points back on rent and mortgages. The big takeaway here is that the rent category got harder in 2026, but a well-built 5-card system more than makes up for it. Now that we have housing covered, let's get into one of the categories that no one can avoid: food. And there are 2 cards right now that are almost impossible to beat in this space. Food is one of the biggest recurring expenses for most households, and is one of the best categories to earn rewards in because some cards are built specifically for it. I'm going to give you 2 strong options here depending on how you spend. The first one will be the American Express Blue Cash Preferred. This earns 6% back at US supermarkets on up to $6,000 per year in spending, 6% on select streaming services, and 3% back at gas stations and transit. It does come with a $95 annual fee, but the fee is waived completely in the first year. So to put that in real numbers, if you spend $500 a month on groceries, that is $360 back in cash every single year on purchases that you're gonna make regardless. The card pays for itself and then some. Now, a fair point that I do see come up in the comments often is that if you max out the $6,000 grocery cap and subtract the $95 annual fee, your effective return rate works closer to 4.4% rather than the full 6%. That is a completely valid point, but here's the full picture. First, the fee is waived entirely for year 1. So you're getting a clean 6% returns right off the gate. Second is that the 6% on streaming and 3% on gas and transit adds value on top of the groceries. And third is that there is a smart exit strategy built into this card. So if the fee ever stops making sense for you, you can always downgrade it to the no fee Blue Cash Everyday card, which still earns 3% back at US supermarkets, 3% on online retail, and 3% at gas stations. This way, you still keep a card open, your credit history still stays intact, and you're still earning solid rewards with 0 annual costs. So yes, the math matters, but when you factor in the full picture, this card still belongs in most category heavy setups. The next option is the American Express Gold card. If you eat out often and you also travel, the MX Gold is worth the upgrade. It earns 4x points at restaurants worldwide and 4x at US supermarkets, making it a powerhouse for anyone who spends heavily on food both inside and outside the home. You also earn 3x on flights booked directly with airlines. The $325 annual fee is what stops most people, but when you factor into the credits, the math shifts. You get up to $120 in Uber Cash per year, $120 in dining credits at select restaurants, $100 in Resy credits, and $84 in Dunkin' credits. If you use those naturally throughout the year, the card more than offsets its own fee. On top of that, the membership reward points that you earn can be transferred to airline and hotel partners for more travel value. That alone makes this one of the most powerful cards for people who eat out regularly and travel at least a few times a year. Here's where most credit card setups fall apart. Most people cover groceries and dining and they think that they're good. But there is a category of spending that quietly drains your wallet every single month without earning you a thing. Think about all the purchases that you make that does not fit neatly into a specific bonus category. Random Amazon orders, home supplies, clothing, or subscriptions. The thing is that miscellaneous spending adds up way faster than most people realize. Without the right card, every single one of those purchases earns you just 1% back. That's almost nothing. That's where the Citi Double Cash Card comes in. This card earns 2% on every purchase, 1% when you buy, and another 1% when you pay it off. There's no bonus categories to track, no annual fee, no spending caps, and no strategy required. You just swipe it and earn. This is the card that you keep in your wallet or save into your phone for every purchase that does not have a dedicated card assigned to it. It's simple, reliable, and effective as a long-term keeper in any setup. Now, I would suggest pairing this card with the Citi Custom Cash Card. The Custom Cash earns 5% back automatically on your single top spending category each billing cycle, on up to $500 spent per month. Eligible categories include gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants, streaming services, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, and more. The strategy is straightforward. Just pick one category that you consistently spend on, like gas, then use the custom cash only for that category. It automatically locks in as your top spend and earns 5% back on autopilot every single month without you having to think about it. The custom cash earns 5% back on your top category. The double cash earns 2% on everything. Together, these two cards make sure that you're never leaving money on the table no matter what you're buying. As a side note, if you did decide to get the Bilt Palladium, it does get 2% back, so that card can also fit in this category. Now, a lot of people skip the next card because they think it's only worth having if you travel all the time. The truth is that even if you only take one trip a year, this card can save you more money than almost anything else in your wallet. You do not need to be a road warrior to benefit from a travel credit card. Even one trip a year, the right card can cover its own annual fee, protect your bags, give you free hotel nights, and get you into airport lounges where you can eat, relax for free before your flight. Once you experience travel with the right card in your pocket, it's very hard to go back. So my top pick for this category will be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The welcome bonus is typically between 60 to 75,000 points after meeting the spending requirements in the first 3 months. That is worth at least $750 towards travel when redeemed through Chase, and potentially much more when you transfer points directly to airline and hotel partners like United, Southwest, and Hyatt. The card earns 5x on travel booked through Chase, 3x on dining and groceries, 2x on all other travel, and 1x on everything else. The annual fee is $95, but the welcome bonus alone covers years of that fee. One of the most underrated benefits of this card is primary car rental insurance. Most credit cards only offer secondary coverage, meaning that your personal auto insurance gets tapped first if something goes wrong. With the Sapphire Preferred, it covers you as the primary policy. That means that you can decline the rental counter insurance every single time, and it saves you between $15 to $30 a day on every single trip. This card also includes trip cancellation protection, baggage delay insurance, no foreign transaction fees, and a $50 annual hotel credit on bookings made through Chase. The runner-up in this category will be the Capital One Venture Card. The Venture Card earns 2x miles on every single purchase with no category restrictions, and 5x on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. The welcome bonus is worth $750 in travel, and the annual fee is also $95. What sets the Venture Card apart is simplicity. There's no categories to think about at checkout. It also includes up to $120 towards TSA PreCheck or global entry. Once you have global entry, you will not want to fly without it. If transfer partner flexibility and maximum travel value matter most to you, the Sapphire Preferred is the pick. If you want something easy and clean with solid travel perks built in, then the Venture Card delivers. So far, we covered housing, food, everyday spending, and travel. The fifth card is the most personal one on this entire list. It's also the one that most people get completely wrong because they pick it based on what looks good instead of what actually fills their gap in their own life. Card 5 is the wild card. This slot is intentionally wide open. Your first 4 cards have major bases covered: housing, food, everyday purchases, and travel. The wild card is your chance to fill in whatever gap exists specifically in your life. This is not about getting the most popular card, it's about finding the card that covers the one thing that your current setup is missing. One of the options is the Amazon Prime Visa. If you shop on Amazon regularly, like I do, this card earns 5% back on Amazon.com and Whole Food purchases with no annual fee, as long as you are already a Prime member. If you already have Prime, this card costs you nothing extra and immediately turns your Amazon habit into a 5% discount on everything that you order. The next option in this category can be the Capital One Venture X. If you want to level up your travel experience and you're already taking a few trips a year, the Venture X is worth a serious look. The $395 annual fee comes with a $300 annual travel credit, a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus, and unlimited airport lounge access for the primary card holder. When you do the math on those perks, the effective cost for this card is usually a net positive. One thing worth noting here is that the Venture X has stayed one of the most straightforward premium travel cards on the market, while its competitors have been raising annual fees and piling on credits. The Chase Sapphire Reserve and the MX Platinum have both gone through significant fee increases in recent years. The Venture X has not moved yet. That window may not last. If you've been thinking about this card, getting it now means that you lock into the current structure before any potential refreshes changes the math. Another possible option in this category can be the Wells Fargo Attune. If you want to earn strong rewards in niche categories that most cards completely ignore, the Attune earns 4% back on self-care, gyms, sporting goods, pet supplies, entertainment venues, and bookstores, all with no annual fee. It's one of the most underrated cards in the market right now for filling gaps in an existing setup. Another possible card in this category can be the Costco Anywhere Visa card. If you already have a Costco membership, this one is a no-brainer to add. It earns 5% back on gas at Costco, 4% back on other eligible gas and EV charging stations, up to $7,000 combined per year, 3% back on restaurants and travel, and 2x on all Costco purchases. There's no annual fee with your paid Costco membership. If Costco is already part of your regular spending, then this card essentially turns that into way more rewards. Now the approach here is the same. Look at where your money is going that all other 4 cards are not rewarding. That's your wild card. For me, my typical card in this category is usually a card that I'm chasing the welcome offer for or the sign up bonus for. So this category for me usually gets cycled through almost every 3 months. Now here's the part that most credit card videos never actually give you: how to run all 5 cards as one system. The goal is simple. Every dollar that you spend should be earning you something. No dead spending anywhere. For housing, use one of the Bilt cards. Pick one that justifies the annual fee for you. If not, then you can just pick a card that you're trying to chase the welcome bonus for. That way, you can just get the bonus much quicker, since housing is usually one of the biggest expenses that most people have. For food and groceries, use the MX Blue Cash Preferred at supermarkets for 6% back. If you eat out often and want transferable points for travel, then the MX Gold can be the perfect fit right here. For everything else, use the City Double Cash that earns 2% back on all random purchases that does not fit anywhere else. You can also pair this with the Custom Cash to lock in 5% in one specific category that you spend heavily in, like gas. For travel, use the Chase Sapphire Preferred to book trips, earn bonus points on dining and groceries along the way, and activate travel protections every time that you rent a car. And as for the wild card, just match it to the gap in your specific life. Either Amazon, premium travel, niche categories, or even Costco. Pretty much whatever is costing you money right now without giving you anything in return. When you run this setup together, nearly every dollar that leaves your account each month is earning you something back. That's how people end up with free flights and hotel stays without changing what they spend. Most people think that they need dozens of credit cards to get ahead. You do not. You just need the right 5 and just use it the right way. Now, if you're unsure about what cards to apply for next, or you don't want to risk a hard inquiry finding out, I recommend using a card finder tool, like the one that I have in the description. It is a free tool that shows you the best credit cards based on your credit profile without triggering a hard pull. You just enter your info and it gives you a tailored list of cards with the highest match possible. It's not perfect, but it gives you a clear idea of where you stand and which cards to target first. Scan the QR code on the screen or hit the link down in the description to check it out. So that's the only 5 card setup that you need in 2026. But here's something that I did not tell you at the start of this video. Everything that I just showed you is only one layer of what credit can actually do for you. You have been using personal credit cards to earn rewards on your groceries, your rent, your travel, and that's great. That's exactly what you should be doing. But there is a second layer that most people never get to, and it's one that actually changes your financial picture in a major way. It's called business credit. And here's why it matters even if you don't think yourself as a business owner. When you use business credit properly, all of your spending and borrowing stays completely separate from your personal credit profile. Your personal credit score stays clean, your personal borrowing power stays intact, so you can still qualify for a car, a home, or more personal cards whenever you need to. At the same time, you are tapping into completely a different pool of capital. We're talking about $100,000 or more in business credit at 0% APR. That is funding that does not show up on your personal credit report, does not hurt your utilization, and it does not get in the way of anything else that you're already trying to build on the personal side. If you are already using personal credit the right way, business credit is the next level. And the video that I just linked up here will show you exactly how to set it up from scratch, even if you have a brand new LLC with zero history. I'll see you over there.